Hey guys, welcome back to Open It and Play. This is Mike, and today we're going to be looking at the Indiana Jones Adventure series. Is it Jurgen? Jurgen? I think it might be Jurgen, but honestly, I forgot. Jurgen Voller. But anyways, this guy is played by Mads Mikkelsen, and when we get to the head sculpt, you're going to believe it. So it's kind of amazing how much it looks like Mads Mikkelsen. But the top of the box is very exciting this time around. We have just a blank thing, except for what you see inside there. Geez, it will not focus on that color, huh? Okay, and you can see the bottom part here. I actually bought this used from Ami Ami. Recently, Ami Ami has some toy reviewer is selling their toys after opening them, and they're just selling tons and tons of stuff. Some of it is not even opened yet, so it's kind of strange, but anyways, they all say that they're used. But if we look at this guy, he is simple, as a lot of the figures in this series are. I think the amount of detail for the head sculpt is pretty good, but maybe a lot of people had the complaints about the figures themselves. I don't think they're terrible, but yeah, maybe some of the complaints are about the choices for which figures they made or which versions of the characters. But from my experience, some of them are kind of cool, but they don't always scale that well with Marvel Legends. They tend to be a little bit on the smaller side. I don't know Harrison Ford's height in real life, but my Indiana Jones figure looks kind of small or kind of weak compared to my other figures. So if we look at this guy, we're going to take a look at his accessories first. And they're in this little bag. I don't know if you can see it well on camera, but the bag does have like a map pattern. I thought that's kind of a cool way to do the accessories packs. And this is in the plastic-free packaging era, so everything is paper. This guy comes with, let's see, what all does he come with? He comes with a super tiny pair of glasses. I don't know about you guys for your collection, but overall in my collection I have quite a few pairs of glasses now. Good thing is it gives us options for characters like the Baroness or maybe Beast from the X-Men. A few characters, their glasses like make a kind of an iconic look for the character. So he also comes with this little briefcase. So I'm kind of rambling, and this enormous Build-A-Figure piece, which is part of the altar that what is it? The cup is on, the Holy Grail is on. So yeah, sorry, I forgot we can see that in this picture. So it's that big background piece there with the little guy. I like the altar, but it stands a bit short. I'm gonna build a little church display for a Daredevil scene, and I'm gonna use this altar for it, but I do have to modify it to make it a bit taller. Okay, and let's move on to the figure himself. So here is the Mads Mikkelsen-ness of this figure. It's not perfect, but I think you can't really pretend it's a different character because it just looks too much like Mads Mikkelsen. But for these Indiana Jones figures, their bodies tend to be really skinny. You can see what I mean. It's like, good Lord, what is this guy, a skeleton? But they hide that lack of basically width of their characters by putting them all in a big jacket. So if the jacket doesn't come open, it's not too bad. But again, if you do have some kind of display where you're going to reveal that part, it is going to look really strange because they're just so skinny. But anyway, if we see the rest of this guy's suit, he does have some features that are Not great for modern action figures like these single jointed elbows, but going with kind of a loose jacket, I can see why they made that decision. And his arms, since I'm not that familiar with this type of figure, he does not have a bicep cut, so that's kind of another part that's lacking. His neck is a little bit interesting because you do have a joint in here. If this will focus, whoa, if it'll focus, okay. You have a joint in here, so you can move the lower part of the neck a bit to the side. And then he does have he's got a barbell joint, or a dumbbell joint, sorry, in there. And the range on this is better than the Marvel Legends figures, so you'll be able to get a little more attitude, not a little more, a lot more attitude out of these type of guys. Okay. All right, and moving on to the rest of the figure, one of the other notable points is he does have a swivel for his ankles. So that's something that I wish all Marvel Legends would have for, it would be nice for all figures, but in particular for their suited figures. But some of them do have it, just not all of them. Okay, let's look at this guy's posability. We'll get going on the posability. So like I said, the dumbbell joint at the neck, so he can look up that far, down that far, and he does cock his head side to side very well. Of course, you can turn his head all the way around, and you do have that extra bit of movement from the neck, like we said before, so you can pose that around quite a few ways. Okay, and then his arms will go all the way around up to just a little bit above 90, and no bicep cut, as we said, but he does have the swivel at the elbow to kind of make up for that. Then his range, you can see, is a little better than 90. So straight is limited by the cut on the jacket. Okay, and his wrists. Okay, his wrists are on like a double. Sorry, his wrists are on a dumbbell joint, I think. Oh, sorry, it's not a dumbbell joint. It looks like a dumbbell joint, but this part is just stuck, embedded into there, or anchored into there. So these are kind of lacking. It's just a single ball joint, so you don't have a whole lot of range, especially given that your sleeve interferes with where you can turn it. But it's probably enough for a character like this, a suited character. But yeah, it would be kind of a nightmare for Indiana Jones himself. But okay, and then at the waist, he has what appears to be a ball joint. It can swivel, but you can only bend down ever so slightly and back ever so slightly. So the posability is really limited. His legs will kick up high, so that's good if he needs to kick Indy in the face. And he's got the cut. Oh, I should do the splits. He can do the splits out to about that far. Okay, and his legs do have a thigh cut, and as you can see, he does have the rotation swivel at the knee too. Again, the cut on the pants will not let him go too far, but his legs can go back just a little better than 90. So, okay. And as we said before, the swivel at the ankle, he also has the hinge that will go down that far and up that far. And then he does have the ankle pivot too. So overall, I think it's a pretty good range of options for this kind of suited figure. And the jacket is nice and soft, so it does allow for posability that some stiffer jackets might not allow for. So now I wanted to compare him to a few other suited figures that I have, just for some comparisons. We're going to try to put him on one of these stands, see if I can get it to fit. Okay, his legs, the peg holes do fit with this kind of stand. This is a bunch of stands that I bought from Amazon a long time ago. They do work for most figures, sometimes less so for G.I. Joe Classified and Marvel female figures. But so there he is on this stand, and we're gonna let us give you a measurement. I can't speak. I took him off I put him on the stand, so I got to take him off the stand. Sorry. And it's hard to remember the order to do things. I should have measured him straight off the bat. Sorry, guys. Okay. So he's standing at about 6 3/16 of an inch, it looks like. So a little over 6.5 and just shy of 6 1/4. But that is to the top of his hat. Okay. And we're going to say that was here, so it's 15.8 centimeters, around there. Okay. Also, let's put him back on the stand. Sorry, this is so disorganized. Back on the stand. Okay. He's secure on the stand again, and we're going to compare him to the other suited figures. So I have my Matt Murdock figure with the head from one of the other Daredevils. That's the armored 90s Daredevil. And we also have the agent from the Monster Force line. So he stands just a little bit taller than this Daredevil Matt Murdock figure, and he stands just a little bit shorter than the agent. You could say not just a little bit, but significantly shorter. And we're going to try some alternate heads. I already tried this, so I know this one works, but it's a Norman Osborn head from the re-release of the Green Goblin. And, well, okay. It doesn't fit on, maybe. Sorry, it doesn't fit on because the bowl joint is a little too big. But if you just sit it on there, to me, it looks quite good. And I also tried it with my Iron Patriot figure, Norman Osborn head, and it's a good fit with that too. So, sorry, now things are out of focus. Okay, and let's see if the Daredevil Matt Murdock head will fit on there. I'm gonna see if that works. That is a bigger hole, so it does fit, but it does sit a little bit lower. You can be judge of whether that's a good fit or not, but the skin tones don't exactly match, but it's not too far off, so I think it would work for most displays. If you put just a little bit of putty in there, you can have it sit higher, but when it sits lower, you can't notice the skin tone being off as much. So, but yeah, I think this is a pretty good suited body, and I think it's pretty reasonable if you can find it cheap. So if you need a bunch of suited figures, and brown is not too bad of a color, it's not too bad of a figure to get. It sometimes kind of rides up so you can see the gap there, but if you press it down, it looks a little bit better aesthetically. Okay, thank you guys for taking a look at this figure with me, and I hope to see you in the next video soon. I think we're going to do the Marvel Legends binary next. Okay, that's it for today. See you in the future.